When the world panics, Warren Buffett prepares to profit. While investors flee the market, he's quietly positioning himself to win again. Recessions don't scare Buffett. They're his golden season. Because he knows one simple truth: wealth isn't destroyed in a crash. It's transferred. And those who understand the rules of the game end up owning the table. In this video, we'll break down Buffett's Recession Playbook. 10 timeless rules he follows when everyone else is running for cover. From how he builds cash before chaos, to how he spots opportunity when fear takes over, each rule reveals how the world's greatest investor turns downturns into lifelong advantage. These are not theories. They're habits that made him billions through every crisis. If you've ever wondered what you should do before the next recession hits, watch closely. Because Buffett's playbook might just change the way you see market crashes forever. Rule number 10. Cash is your silent opportunity. Most people see cash as a waste, money doing nothing. But to Warren Buffett, cash is never idle. It's the oxygen of opportunity. When markets fall, the investors without cash are forced to watch opportunity slip away. Or worse, they sell what they own to survive. Now, Buffett does the opposite. He builds his cash reserves before the storm. So when panic hits, he becomes the buyer, not the victim. During the 2008 financial crisis, while the world was collapsing, Buffett invested billions in companies like Goldman Sachs and General Electric, deals that paid him massive returns when the dust settled. He could do that because he was liquid when everyone else was desperate. Cash gives you optional freedom. It lets you wait for the right price instead of chasing momentum. It gives you clarity when others are emotional. And, most importantly, it keeps you in control. So, how much should you hold? Buffett keeps enough to stay comfortable in any scenario, often 20 to 30% of his portfolio in cash or equivalents before a downturn, not because he's scared, but because he's patient. Remember this: when others see dead money, Buffett sees ammunition. And in a recession, the investor holding cash isn't losing, he's loading. All right, so let's talk about rule number 9. Know what you'll buy ahead of time. When the market crashes, everyone suddenly becomes an opportunity hunter. But by then, it's already too late. Fear takes over, logic fades, and emotion runs the show. Warren Buffett doesn't wait for chaos to start studying. He builds his shopping list long before prices fall. Because he knows, you see, clarity in calm times creates confidence in crisis. His list isn't filled with hot stocks. It's made of durable companies, businesses with moats, strong cash flows, honest management, and products people will still buy even in a recession. Coca-Cola, Apple, American Express, brands that survive not because they're trendy, but because they're necessary. Buffett studies them inside out. Balance sheets, leadership, long-term earnings power. So, when the market drops 20%, 30%, or even 40%, he already knows what they're worth. He doesn't panic, he just acts. That's why his timing looks perfect. Not because he predicts the crash, but because he's prepared for it. So, make your list now. Find 5 to 10 companies you'd love to own for the next decade and understand them deeply. When the market turns red, you won't hesitate. You'll recognize your moment. Because wealth doesn't go to those who react fastest. It goes to those who plan before the storm. And that's exactly how Buffett turns uncertainty into opportunity on demand. Rule number 8, quality over cheapness. Most investors, you know, end up chasing bargains, the lowest price stocks, those so-called undervalued tickers, flashing green on their screen. But Buffett learned long ago that cheap doesn't mean good. and good doesn't always look cheap. He once said, "It's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price." That single mindset shift, honestly, changed how he built Berkshire Hathaway. Quality, to Buffett, isn't about price. It's about character. A quality company has predictable earnings, a loyal customer base, and leadership that thinks decades ahead. It dominates its industry not by chance, but by habit. Think Apple, Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson. Brands that keep winning, recession or not. Buffett studies how these businesses handle pain. Do they keep growing when the economy slows? Do customers keep buying their products when money gets tight? If the answer is yes, well, that's quality. Low-quality companies look cheap for a reason. Their profits swing wildly, their debt piles up, and their future depends on luck. Buffett avoids them, no matter how undervalued they appear. Because quality compounds, a great business held for years multiplies wealth quietly, while cheap stocks often drain it loudly. So, next time you're tempted by a bargain, ask yourself, would Buffett buy this, or would he wait for a great business at the right moment? That's how he builds wealth that lasts, not luck that fades. Rule number 7. Balance sheets are non-negotiable. When the market falls, not all businesses fall equally. Some stumble and vanish, others survive and thrive. The difference? Their balance sheet. Buffett never buys a company blindly. He looks at debt, cash reserves, and the ability to withstand storms. A strong balance sheet is like a fortress. It protects a business when the economy weakens. On the other hand, a weak one is a house of cards just waiting to collapse. During recessions, high-debt companies can't make payments, lose investor confidence, and sometimes, well, they go bankrupt. Buffett avoids them. Instead, he invests in companies with low debt, high cash flow, and reliable revenue. Businesses that can endure months or even years of economic pressure. So, what should you check before investing? Look at the debt-to-equity ratio. How leveraged is the company? Check the current ratio. Can it cover short-term obligations? Review free cash flow. Does the company generate money even in a downturn? And of course, consider management's track record in tough times. Strong balance sheets do more than just survive. They allow for opportunistic growth. When weaker competitors fall, strong companies take market share, strengthen their position, and emerge more valuable. In short, the numbers on the balance sheet tell you the story the stock price simply can't. Ignore them and you gamble. Study them and you invest like Buffett, buying resilience, not just hope. All right, so let's talk about rule number 6. Ignore the headlines, focus on reality. When markets crash, the headlines scream, banks collapsing, stocks in freefall, economy on the brink. Most investors react. They panic. They sell. But, Buffett does the opposite. He reads the news, sure, but he doesn't let it dictate his decisions. Because here's the truth. Headlines sell fear, not insight. Business fundamentals are quieter, slower, and far more reliable. Revenue, profit margins, cash flow, and competitive advantages don't change overnight. Even in a panic. Buffett studies these metrics, not the panic-driven ticker tape. Emotional discipline is, absolutely key. Back during the 2008 crash, the media was just full of doom. Every single day seemed to bring a new horror story. Yet Buffett stayed calm. He analyzed companies he knew, assessed their real-world resilience, and acted only when the numbers, not fear, signaled opportunity. You could do the same, you know. Start by checking your own fundamentals first, the financial health of the businesses you own or plan to buy. Ask yourself, is this company still strong? Will it survive a downturn? If the answer is yes, well, just ignore the noise. News is temporary. Quality businesses are long-term. By focusing on reality instead of headlines, you trade fear for clarity, panic for strategy, and short-term chaos for long-term opportunity. Remember, the crowd reacts to emotion. The disciplined investor reacts to truth. Rule number 5. Long-term thinking beats short-term panic. Most investors treat the market like a sprint, checking prices every hour, reacting to every dip. But Buffett treats it like a marathon. He thinks in decades, not days. Why? Well, because recessions are temporary, but strong businesses compound wealth over decades. A short-term panic might make a stock drop 30% today, but a great company's earnings, brand, and competitive edge will recover and then grow. Take Coca-Cola, for example. Buffett bought it in 1988. Since then, the stock weathered multiple recessions, the tech bubble, and even the 2008 crisis. Did he panic? No. He thought long-term. And today, that patience has turned into extraordinary wealth. Long-term thinking changes your behavior today. You don't sell when fear spikes. You don't chase hype. You invest only in companies you believe will still be valuable 10, 20, or 30 years from now. It also allows you to see volatility as opportunity, not threat. When the crowd panics, the long-term investor sees discounted quality, a chance to buy enduring businesses at bargain prices. The market's daily noise, well, it just loses power when your horizon is decades. You stop worrying about tomorrow's headline and start asking, which companies will still thrive in 10 years? Decades change perspective. Short-term panic destroys it. Buffett's wealth isn't from predicting recession. The Mars verstandsum. Itars in Sissinal Minkens, Norman Amperbiasen, Prolifant Males. Chantus said Donus Chase Endians, Santander Martins. Rule number 4. Never use too much leverage. Borrowing to invest can feel smart until the market turns. Then it becomes a trap. Buffett avoids it. Always. Leverage magnifies returns and losses. A small dip can become a catastrophe if you're borrowing to play the game. During recessions, companies and investors loaded with debt often collapse under their own obligations, forced to sell at the worst possible time. Think of margin accounts, loans, or aggressive debt-financed investments. They work when the market is calm, but in a downturn, they become a ticking time bomb. Long-term compounding is destroyed overnight when leverage forces liquidation. History is full of examples. Long-term capital management in 1998, countless individual investors in 2008. Smart people, sophisticated models, wiped out by leverage. Buffett's rule is simple. Only invest money you won't need for at least 5 years, preferably longer. No borrowed funds, no margin calls, no excuses. This allows patience to work its magic. When stocks drop, you hold. When prices fall further, you buy more. When recovery comes, your returns compound safely, without fear or forced selling. Leverage creates stress. Leverage creates panic. Leverage destroys flexibility. The investor who survives recessions is the one who can act freely, not react desperately. Cash in hand, no debt weighing them down. That's how Buffett turns downturns into opportunity. Remember, in investing, freedom is more valuable than leverage. It's not about being the smartest, it's about being unshakable. Here we are at rule number 3. Diversify smart, not widely. This principle is all about making thoughtful choices rather than spreading yourself too thin. You know, most people seem to think that diversification means owning dozens or even hundreds of stocks. But, well, Buffett disagrees. True diversification, you see, isn't about quantity. It's about understanding what you own. Owning too many businesses you barely know isn't protection. It's confusion. You simply can't make smart decisions about companies you don't understand. Instead, Buffett focuses on a handful of great businesses, each with strong fundamentals, durable advantages, and predictable cash flow. Diversification becomes meaningful when it reduces risk without diluting your knowledge or conviction. For example, he might own a bank, a consumer goods company, a railroad, an insurance business, and a utility. Industries with different economics, different cycles, and different risks. If one sector suffers, the others can hold the portfolio steady. The key is quality first. Each business must be something you'd be happy to hold for a decade or more. You don't scatter investments across random stocks just for the sake of coverage. During recessions, this strategy shines. Some industries falter, some thrive, and some hold steady. By owning a small number of high-conviction businesses in diverse sectors, you minimize catastrophic losses and maintain optionality. Remember, owning 500 stocks you don't understand isn't diversification. It's guessing. Smart diversification means control, clarity, and confidence. Know every company in your portfolio, trust their fundamentals. And when the next downturn comes, you'll be ready to act, not react. Rule number 2, be greedy when others are fearful. Fear is, well, contagious. During recessions, headlines just scream doom, don't they? Investors panic, prices plummet. But Buffett, he sees opportunity in that panic. He doesn't follow the crowd. He studies it. When everyone else is selling, he's asking himself which businesses are still strong, which ones are now on sale. You know, recessions are like a clearance sale for great companies. The brands you trust, the companies with durable earnings, they suddenly become affordable. And the moment most people hesitate, Buffett acts. Courage isn't reckless, it's preparation. He doesn't jump blindly into fear. Years of research, a solid cash reserve, and a deep understanding of businesses allow him to buy when others run. Take 2008, for example. Banks were collapsing, stocks were in freefall, and panic ruled the market. Buffett deployed billions into quality companies like Goldman Sachs and General Electric. Many thought he was crazy. He made billions. You can adopt the same mindset. Start by creating a shopping list of strong companies, build cash reserves, understand the fundamentals. Visualize acting calmly when fear grips the market. Fear will always exist. Opportunity only comes to those prepared to ignore panic and act. Be ready, and recessions stop being threats. They become your greatest advantage. All right, let's dive in. Rule number 1. Value is more than price. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. Buffett built his fortune by mastering this difference. During a recession, prices fall, stocks drop dramatically, headlines scream fear, and the crowd panics. But the underlying value of strong businesses doesn't vanish overnight. This gap between price and true value is where opportunity lives. Imagine a company consistently earning $10 million per year. In good times, the market values it at $150 million. During a downturn, the stock might fall to $80 million, or even $60 million. The business still earns $10 million. The price dropped, but the value barely did. Buffett buys in that gap. Not because he's predicting the exact bottom, but because he understands the business's intrinsic worth and trusts long-term compounding. Once you've bought, patience is your ally. Don't panic if the market dips further. Don't sell because the headlines are scary. Let time and business fundamentals do the work. Reinvest dividends, hold quality companies, and watch compounding multiply your returns. This mindset separates speculators from wealth builders. Speculators chase prices. Investors chase value. Price fluctuations are noise. True wealth comes from owning valuable businesses at a discount and letting compounding work its quiet magic. Remember, recessions create the widest gaps between price and value. Prepare, act decisively, and then let patience turn opportunity into extraordinary returns. Recessions are inevitable. Markets will fall, fear will spread, but the right strategy transforms uncertainty into opportunity. Build cash reserves. Know what you'll buy ahead of time. Focus on quality businesses. Avoid leverage. Diversify smartly. Think long-term. Ignore the headlines. Be greedy when others are fearful. Understand value, not price. These 10 rules aren't secrets. They're principles of disciplined wealth building. Buffett didn't get rich by guessing the market or following the crowd. He prepared, acted with courage, and trusted the compounding power of great businesses. Your takeaway? Start today. Save more than you spend. Study businesses you understand. Plan for downturns. Act when opportunity appears, and then let patience work for you. Decisions you make now, in calm, rational preparation, will define your financial freedom in the decades.